You guys want to do this outdoors? We can do it from my hot tub. That'd be warmer. Okay, here we go.
It's the Jay and Dan Show, hosted by Jay and Dan. We are thrilled that you tuned in. It's sponsored by our friends at Tim Hortons. Hey, Dan, no Canadian NHL teams in action, but lots of Canadian NHL team news for your Leafs and your Oilers. We're going to get to that in a bit. But first, Peter Laviolette used to work at this network, and then he coached a bunch of hockey games and won them.
He's about to become the winningest American-born coach in NHL history.
What?
You know?
No.
He's about to, Tim. Yes, Tim, I said he's about to. He's 3 games away. He's soon to be.
I love that they're arguing before we even start the show.
I was saying he's about to. If he wins this, he's 3 wins away.
Oh,
they're both still coaching, I know. Oh, Tim. Yes. Oh, can we start this whole show over?
No, keep it going. It's the best one we've ever done.
Nikita Zadorov, he hit someone, then Austin Matthews goes after him.
It's a battle between Torts and Laviolette.
Exactly. The second, Zadorov connects at the knee. Mr. Tim has already 8 seconds into the show. He's ruined my night. Zadorov got 2 for knee. This is an all Zadorov highlight pack. Turns it over. Nick Bonino beats Semyon Varlamov. Zadorov's turnover put the Avs down 1-0. Roman Josi leading a 2-on-1. Zadorov. I can't block the pass. Zadorov finished the game -2. 7 penalty minutes. Avs lost. But getting back to what we started with, Peter Laviolette, now at 600 wins. What I was implying was, if he passes Toro, yes, I know they're both still coaching. Anyway, let's go to the next thing.
The next thing is the Minnesota Wild and Vegas Golden Knights. Gerard Gallant is a Canadian-born coach. He is not eligible for that honor with Laviolette and Tortorella. He's from Prince Edward Island, Gallant, and his Vegas Golden Knights up 1-0. Brendan Peary, great chance. How does he miss that? Tied at 1 midway through the frame. Eric Stahl will beat Marc-Andre Fleury. Marc-Andre Fleury, by the way, leads the league with 44 starts, 27 wins, and 6 shutouts. But it's the Wild with the lead. They're up 2-1. 7.5 to go in the second. How about Max Pacioretty? 12 goals in his last 22 games. Scored just 2 in his first 16 with Vegas, so he's really picking it up.
Looks like it was a jacket giveaway at this Knights game because there's a lot of similar jackets.
So if you wanted a jacket, they look like they're like Elvis's jacket. Yeah, you're right. Look at those beautiful gold jackets. Peary's stick explodes on him. And then it's a Charlie Coyle. The Coiler! With his 9th, Wild take the lead. Dying seconds. Zach Parise to Mikko Koivu, who scores his 200th career goal into the empty cage as the Wild move past Colorado and Vancouver into the top wild card spot in the Western Conference.
Looks like the NHL All-Star Game is going to lose another player. Erik Karlsson is sitting out the Sharks' last 2 games before the break due to a lower body injury. If Karlsson's sitting those games out, 0 chance he plays in the All-Star Game. I say 0. But the game is in San Jose, so I still say he doesn't play. No chance. Sharks visiting the Panthers Monday. Tied at 2 in the third. Evander Kane gets a stick up on Nick Bjugstad. Bjugstad shows the ref, hey, he got me. It's a Trocheck. He was mic'd up. Let's get his take on the high stick.
Can't do that, though. You can't do that. Can't do that.
Yep, you can't do that. Kane given a 4-minute double minor. Panthers on the power play. Keith Yandle's point shot beats a screen. Marty Jones 3-2 Panthers. 9 seconds later, Radim Shibik falls down. Trocheck scores his 5th. Panthers score twice on the Kane penalty. Kane back on the ice. and he hits Mike Matheson, catches him in the head with his stick. No penalty on the play. Matheson was okay. With under a minute to go, Kane again. Yeah, Kane, you can't do that. You can't push someone into the goalie. It's definitely at the end of the game. Then he chirps to the Panthers bench. Kane given 2 for unsportsmanlike and a misconduct. Panthers won this 1-6-2.
After a disastrous stint with the Thunder and another disastrous stint with the Rockets, Carmelo Anthony was traded to the Bulls Monday, but he won't play for them. Instead, if he clears waivers, he can sign with whoever he wants. And as it turns out, his old friend LeBron James thinks it might be a good idea if he came to play with the Lakers. Therefore, it's a good chance it's going to happen. Stay tuned. We'll keep you posted. One of Carmelo's old teams, the Rockets, taking on the 76ers. How would Corey Brewer try to stop Harden?
The way he's playing right now, nothing can help you. I'm just being honest. You know, you got to go out there and do what I do. You know, it's been a pest and playing hard.
Is there some trash talking, you think, tonight? Or?
We always talk trash to each other, so I'm sure he's gonna be right up his alley. It's going to be a lot of fun.
First quarter, Harden over T.J. McConnell. Rockets and Sixers. Yeah, he says it's too small to guard me. Then in the second, Harden getting past Joel Embiid. Harden, 27 of the Rockets' 50 points at the half. Kevin Harlan on the call, one of my favorites. Philly, though, doing a good job of getting under Harden's skin. There is Brewer. He is a pest. Just before the half, Harden and Embiid tangled up. Embiid, look at this, the subtle kick. Both assess technicals. Embiid is subtle and sometimes not so subtle, but always entertaining. Next, Rockets possession. Harden can't get the 3 to drop. Brewer in transition, the uncontested throwdown. After the dunk, check him out right into the body of Harden and draws a foul from it. Just Brewer's second game with the Sixers, already endearing themselves to the Philly fans. 15 seconds to go in the half.
Knocked away there by the Rockets. Here comes Harden with a nervous and knocked down by Embiid. Down goes Harden. Seconds left.
76ers mascot Franklin the dog. Oh, he approves. Yeah, Ledoux. Third quarter now. Harden. He has 200 points in just over 3.5 games. Finished with 37 points, 20th straight game with 30 or more. Did not even play the fourth quarter. But the Rockets suffered their largest loss of the season. James Harden. His streak of 20 games with 30 or more points, the longest run by anybody not named Wilt Chamberlain. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Luka Doncic facing each other for the first time. Milwaukee riding a 4-game win streak. Antetokounmpo running over Devin Harris. He had 19 in the first half. Bucks, Unis. Flashback to January the 5th, Mavs visiting the Sixers. Doncic, the layup goes crashing into the camera op. Our cameraman Glenn is off tonight, and we believe Luka Doncic is responsible. Back to Monday. Underneath the basket, Doncic again into the camera operator. Hey, Luka Doncic, what do you have against our fine Oh, he's actually very concerned. Fourth quarter, Doncic leans into the jumper, draws the foul. He had 18, 11, and 10. Second youngest player in NBA history to record a triple-double, part of a 13-2 Mavs run. But with Milwaukee hanging on to a 5-point lead, Giannis, watch this. Oh, goodness. He had 31 and 15 boards. Bucks win.
He dropped 22 points before fouling out. Blazers.
Then he took some pictures with him. Nurkic seems like a fun guy.
So, off the top of the show.
Oh, here we go. We're revisiting that.
I should have said trying to surpass John Tortorella, not about to surpass.
So you're conceding that producer Tim was right?
No, but he shouldn't have got in my ear. I could have explained it over the board.
He felt that he was trying to help you. This is really something, though, I have to say.
It goes from a mile a minute in my ear, then silence for like 10 minutes. And then he's back, and then he's gone again.
I got to say, from my perspective, it's been really entertaining. Oh, okay. The Edmonton Oilers have signed goalie Mikko Koskinen to a 3-year contract extension worth $4.5 million per year. Despite all the recent changes, the Oilers are still struggling. They've lost their last 2 at home. Though they're only 3 points out of a playoff spot in the Western Conference.
Or don't we? Or do we? I don't know. Dougie Hamilton makes his return to Calgary too soon. The Flames host the Hurricanes.
It feels weird for sure. I mean, just coming to the city last night and just a lot of memories over the last 3 years come back to you. It's cool to be back, and but definitely a weird feeling.
Here we go. The trade revisited. It has been extremely good for the Calgary Flames, and specifically Elias Lindholm has turned into a heck of a hockey player. 21 goals this season with Calgary. Mr. Furley, Michael Furland. And we should also mention the Hurricanes also picked up prospect Adam Fox. When we come back, well, we're not ready to go to break yet. I just wanted to say, I think the show's been pretty good, Dan.
Especially the start.
When we come back, Academy Award nominations are about to be announced this morning. We're going to give you our Oscars and Razzies combined. We call them the Jannies.
Aussie Open quarterfinals. Stefanos Tsitsipas, fresh off his upset victory over Roger Federer, facing 22 seed Roberto Bautista Agut. They're splitting the first 2 sets. Tsitsipas with the set point in the third, chases down a drop shot. Sliding backhand, catches the line. 20-year-old reels off 4 straight games to take a 2 sets to love lead. You know, no Greek players ever made the semifinals of a major. 4th set went to a tiebreak. Tsitsipas inside out forehand. He was ranked outside the top 80 in the world at this time last year. Tsitsipas, match point, unleashes a serve. Bautista Agut can't get back. The 20-year-old rising star takes it in 4 sets and becomes the youngest man to reach a Grand Slam semi since Novak Djokovic way back in 2007.
That's what tennis needs. More Tsitsipas. It's time for the Jannies. Just like the Oscars, but it's our version. Marcus Smart for 3. What a feed from Kyrie Irving. Dan, who are your Oscar hopefuls this year?
Don't think I've seen any of the movies nominated. Eric Bledsoe takes the long pass, goes up and puts Max Kleber to shame.
That's the thing, though. There are no nominations quite yet.
Oh.
College hockey, Merrimack taking on Boston University. BU up huge in this one. Their goalie Jake Ottinger makes not 1 but 2 huge saves. He's the Stars' 2017 first-round pick, 27 overall.
I saw that Winnie the Pooh movie. It was pretty good.
Oh, that is probably going to win Best Picture.
Ewan McGregor's in it. I like him.
Yeah. He was Obi-Wan.
And not in that movie, though.
Wouldn't that be great? He was just Obi-Wan in that movie. What is Knockvie Injury Law Firm? What kind of money are they making with that big ad behind the net here in Vegas?
Oh, and I saw Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Oh, was that good? I loved the first one, Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh, yeah. Classic. First time I watched Wreck-It Ralph, I watched it and didn't see a second of it. My kid's watching in the back seat. I was howling the whole time.
Yeah, great flick. Back to the Wild and Golden Knights. Jared Spurgeon. Great opportunity. Marc-Andre Fleury. A terrific save. I mentioned he's leading the NHL in goalie wins this season.
Rudy Schimmick falls down. Panthers take advantage. It's a Trocheck scores. What's Shimmick's nickname? Shimsy?
Shim Show. Shim Sham.
Shimmer.
The shimmy shake. Let's all do the shimmy shake. Kyle Korver did not think that was out of bounds. It was out of bounds, and he has turned the ball over.
Time for the plays of the week. And you know, the plays of the week has a lot of Alex Rodriguez in it, a man who is now a media darling and is coming across way less robotic and somewhat human. But the first clip you'll see of him, he's goofing on a girl, doesn't know who he is. And A-Rod gives a wink to the person filming it. Just a reminder, in life, don't be that person that winks before proceeding with a gag like, hey, get a load of what I'm gonna do. Because it's cringeworthy.
So, Dan was talking about the Alex Rodriguez video. Tim had to cut it out of that place of the week. We're too heavy.
We're
too much content.
So that made no sense.
Pretty much like everything we do anyway. You're watching Jay and Dan. It is weird.
Yeah, Tim's in a quandary for time, so Toronto Raptors. Kawhi Leonard, he's sitting out the past 2 games due to rest. He's absent from Raptors practice for what Nick Nurse called a maintenance checkup. He's expected to be in the lineup Tuesday against Sacramento. His teammates, and they know this guy needs some rest.
Despite the fact that Kawhi missed a lot of games, I'd still sign him for the max.
No glass. Toronto has won 9 in a row at home, tied for the 3rd longest stretch in franchise history. Yeah, they play the Kings on Tuesday, an exciting basketball team. You don't know what they're gonna bring. It's Sacktown against T-Town Tuesday. According to the Washington Post, no one calls it T-Town.
Everybody in Toronto calls it
T-Dot.
T-Town.
Yeah, that pass interference, it wasn't called. It was blatant. This comes after that blown call late in the 4th quarter of the NFC Championship game that you saw it. Everyone has seen this play. So the NFL is now looking at having this a reviewable play.
In the stadium watching this.
He is our CFL insider, Dave Naylor, the nail gun. The CFL being talked a lot by Saints fans and a lot of people south of the border because the review of pass interference calls has been allowed in the CFL since 2014. We had a very controversial call in the Saints game in which pass interference was not called. So, is the NFL picking up the phone and calling their CFL colleagues and asking them how to institute it in the NFL?
Well, I think that absolutely will be part of their investigation or due diligence that they're going to do into this process this offseason. And look, the pattern is exactly the same. I mean, this came up as a conversation in the CFL, in the off seasons after the, I think, 2011-2012 season, but there wasn't enough commitment with the Rules Committee to do something about it. Then, in the 2013 playoffs, you had Hamilton's Evan McCullough run into Duron Carter. Obvious pass interference, no flag. It was a playoff game. It affected the result. Bang. That offseason, they made the decision in 2014 to go down this path because, there's no more significant play, other than a turnover in a game than a pass interference call that's wrong. I remember the day that Peyton Manning signing with the Denver Broncos was announced. I was there to cover it. I'm standing in front of the hotel in Denver, and Peter King, then of Sports Illustrated, is there, and I'm chatting with him. I said, hey, in the CFL, they're starting to talk about whether to make pass interference a challengeable play. And he was like, that's crazy. Why would you do that? That's, it's a slippery slope. Well, lo and behold, the last few off seasons, this has come up in the NFL. What they haven't had is that one critical moment, that signature play that everybody saw and realizes, man, we need this. Well, guess what we had on Sunday with the Saints and the Rams? We had it. And that's going to send the NFL down the same path that the CFL went after the 2013 season. And I think we're going to see that rule come along in the NFL. And I think there will be conversations between the two leagues about the experience in Canada, about how it's worked, about how players and coaches have reacted to it, all those kinds of things.
Dave, thank you very much. Stay warm up there in Newmarket, my friend.
Up there indeed. Yes, I will. Thanks, guys.
Highlight of the night, Milwaukee. Giannis Antetokounmpo drives. Look out below. Look out the way. Look out the way.
My goodness. He caught me again.
Is that a Luda song?
I'm going to just wait
Move? Hey, we blew a lot of things. You said Pierre Laviolette is about to become...
I said he was on the verge.
On the verge of becoming the winningest coach, American-born coach. He was not.
He's trying to become. On Mackenzie McEachern's goal, you were talking about Vince Dunn's band, then mentioned Mackenzie McEachern's goal on the Oscar Sundqvist goal highlight. So.
Yeah, messed that up.
You said that was the first time the Panthers were in the Tim Hortons drive-thru. Definitely not the first time that they would have been there when they played the Leafs.
In your plays of the week on Cam, you mentioned A-Rod. That was in the long version. We used the short version.
And you said the Wild were in the first wild card spot. They're actually third in the Central.
I really messed up, but here's a great thing. We interviewed Dustin Nielsen from TSN Radio in Edmonton, and we noticed that Dustin really appreciates great literature. So way to go, Dustin. You're one of the millions who purchased that book.
And otherwise, perfect show.
Otherwise, I'd say this is the show we will submit for the Sports Emmys this year.
Hey, get a load of what I'm going to do.